Hello students, welcome to science class of standard 10th. Hope you all are doing well and we have already completed 2 chapters of chemistry part. Today we are going to begin the third chapter of chemistry section and the name of the chapter is metals and non-metals. So what are metals? The definition of the metals is those elements which lose electrons to become positive ions are called metals. It means the element which have its electron in the outermost orbit, they lose their electrons, and when they are losing its electron, they itself becoming positive in charge. So when they are losing electrons, they become positively charged and they becomes metal. They are called metals. Physical properties of metals are hard and high tensile strength, means it is hard in texture. Metals are solid at room temperature. Metals produce sonorous sound. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Metals are malleable. Malleable means beaten into thin sheets. Metals are ductile in nature. Ductile means that thing can be drawn into thin wires. Like we can take the example of gold, silver. They are ductile because that can be drawn into thin wires which we are wearing, the golden or the silver chains that can be drawn into wires. Or you can take example of copper, the electricity wire that are made up of copper. That copper is a metal and it has a property of ductility, means that copper metal are ductile, so it is drawn into thin wires. Metals have high melting and boiling points, and exceptional metals are cesium and gallium. They are dense, they are lustrous, they are silver gray in color. Now we will study about non-metals. Non-metals are those elements which do not exhibit the properties of metals. So in simple words, the elements which are not metals, they are non-metals. Means non-metals have exactly opposite properties or characteristics than metals. Now physical property of non-metals. They occur as solid, liquid and gaseous at room temperature. They are brittle, they are non-malleable, they are non-ductile, non-sonorous and bad conductors of heat and electricity. So students, a question can be asked like write the difference between metals and non-metals. So you can easily write so many differences. But these are the differences based on its physical properties. Please keep in mind the sonorous, malleability, ductility. These are the differences on the basis of physical properties between metals and non-metals. Up to now we have studied about the physical properties. Okay, in the later on in this chapter we will study about chemical properties of metals and non-metals. So exceptional things in physical properties are alkali metal like sodium, potassium and lithium can be cut using a knife. Mercury is liquid metal. Lead and mercury are poor conductors of heat. Mercury expands significantly for the slightest change in temperature. Gallium and cesium have a very low melting point. Iodine is non-metal but it has luster. Graphite conducts electricity. Diamond conducts heat as a very high melting point. So these are the exceptional things about the physical properties of metal. These exceptional things are mostly asked in the exams in the 1 marks question. So students, you have to by heart these all exceptional properties. Now we are going to start about the chemical properties of metal. For chemical properties of metal, for alkali metals react vigorously with water and oxygen or air. Magnesium react with hot water. Aluminium, iron and zinc react with steam. Copper, silver, platinum do not react with water or dilute acid. So means in water only you have to remember which metals are reacting with hot water, which are reacting with cold or which are reacting with steam. So we are going to study about few very important chemical properties. The first chemical property is reaction of metal with oxygen. So when it's reacting with oxygen, what is happening? When a metal reacts with oxygen, it produces metal oxide, and a metal oxide is basic in nature. For example, sodium and potassium are kept immersed in kerosene oil as they react very vigorously with air and catch fire. So, sodium and potassium are kept in kerosene. Why they are kept in kerosene or oil? Because because by using that, it will not react with the atmosphere, or it will not react easily with the oxygen, because kerosene and oil doesn't allow oil to enter into it. Understood? So sodium and potassium are very reactive metals, so that sodium and potassium, to stop them from reacting with oxygen, they used to keep sodium and potassium kept immersed in the kerosene or oil, or whenever it is in atmospheric condition, it will easily catch fire and it will be vigorous. The example for it is given here. See, potassium when react with oxygen, it will produce potassium oxide, and it's a vigorous reaction. Vigorous means harmful reaction. Magnesium, aluminium, zinc, lead react slowly with air and forms a protective layer that prevents corrosion. So the concept of corrosion also we have studied in the chapter number 1 of chemistry. So to prevent corrosion, in that chapter we have seen a very little part, that was to prevent from corrosion, oiling or painting. So this magnesium, aluminium, that all when slowly react with air, they form a protective layer to prevent corrosion. Now when magnesium react with oxygen, it will produce magnesium oxide. Magnesium burns with a dazzling light, white dazzling light. Means when a magnesium is brought near a burning flame or a candle, the flames that arise from magnesium is a white dazzling light. Student, please keep in mind that all the metals does not produce the same flame. The reactivity of the metals are different, so the flame which is produced from every metal or from many of the metals are also different from each other. So when magnesium is burned, it is producing white dazzling light. When silver when react with oxygen, aluminium when react with oxygen, it will produce aluminium oxide. Silver, platinum and gold do not burn or react with air. Okay, so silver, platinum and gold, that does not react with air easily. It means one more important thing here, silver, platinum and gold will not react easily with air. Understood? So it will also take some more time for corrosion. Now reaction of metal with water or steam. First we have seen the reaction of metal with oxygen, now with water or steam. When metal is reacting with water, it is producing metal hydroxide or metal oxide plus hydrogen. So many examples are given here, that sodium react with water, but which kind of water? Cold water. It will produce sodium hydroxide plus dihydrogen gas plus heat. And calcium is reacting again with cold water. Here again example of given about magnesium. Magnesium when react with hot water. So the metals is reacting with which kind of metals to give metal hydroxide, or metal is reacting with which kind of steam, with steam, either with steam, then it is giving oxide. So we have to remember with what reactants which kind of product is produced. In this chapter also, chemical equations holds a very important position on the exam point of view. So you have to remember all the chemical equations accordingly. And the third is reaction of metals with acid. When metals react with dilute acid, it will produce salt plus hydrogen gas. Students, this equation is somewhat similar which you have already studied in chapter number 2. In chapter number 2, when you were studying about the chemical properties of acid, in that one chemical property we have studied was that acid reacting with metal. So the same thing is here, the metals reacting with acid, and so the product is same, that is salt plus hydrogen gas, and the example for it is also mentioned here. Now metal react with other metal salts. So now there are two metals. One is metal and another is the solution of the metal. When a metal is reacting with the salt solution, when metal A is reacting with the salt solution of metal B, the product will be salt solution of metal A plus metal B. So here you can see that metal A is forming its solution with the salt of metal B. So you can this bold general equation, from the general formula you have to remember and keep in mind that metal A is reacting with the salt solution of metal B and it is producing salt solution of metal A plus metal B. More accurately you can understand it with the example. When iron is reacting with copper sulfate, it gives iron sulfate plus copper. When copper is reacting with silver nitrate, it gives copper nitrate plus silver. Now basic oxides of metal. Some metallic oxides get dissolved in water and form alkalis. Their aqueous solution turns red litmus paper blue. Why this now red litmus paper is turned blue, that you have to understand because of basic oxides of metal. We have already studied in the previous chapter when we were studying about the litmus test. We have studied about litmus test, about the dry and the wet. When the litmus paper was wet, it has given its result. So here you can see the metal oxide is reacting with water and it is giving metal hydroxide. Amphoteric oxides of metal. Amphoteric oxides are metal oxides which react with both acid as well as bases to form salt and water. Now the word amphoteric means the characteristics of acid as well as base. Understood? So that kind of oxide that have the characteristics of acid as well as base. For example, aluminium oxide, zinc oxide, lead oxide. This when react with metal, they produce salt and water. Examples are held here. Zinc oxide react with HCl, it will give zinc chloride plus H2O. So these are the few examples of it. Now the reactivity series, the most important part of the chapter, the reactivity series. You have to by heart the reactivity series for the exams, and it's a important thing. So students, once again I am telling you what we have studied up to now. We have studied the chemical reactions of metals. So first was that reaction of metal with oxygen and it will produce metal oxides. These chemical equations as well as the chemical properties are very important, and what is the product here we have obtained. Reaction of metals with water or steam, it will produce metal hydroxide or metal oxides plus hydrogen gas. Reaction of metals with acid, it will give salt plus hydrogen gas. Metals react with other metal salts and it will produce salt solution of metal A plus metal B. Basic oxides of metal, it will give metal hydroxide. And lastly we have studied about amphoteric oxides of metal. And then we have gone through the reactivity series. Students, you have to keep in mind which element or which metal is highly reactive. Though the answer is potassium. Potassium is highly reactive and least reactive is platinum. You have to remember the series from highly reactive up to least reactive metals. Now, extraction of metals and non-metals. Extraction means pulling. Extraction means to extract it out, means to uh, take it out from the solution. So what are the methods for that? Extraction of metals and non-metals. First is extract uses of displacement reaction. So in that, first we are going to study about extraction of metals, manufacturing of steel, and Hermite process. Hermite process is a very small reaction, and it is very small in paragraph given in the textbook. But this chemical equation which I have mentioned here against Hermite reaction is very important and mostly asked in the exams. First, we are going to start, and also Hermite reaction is used in welding of railway tracks, cracked machine parts. Mostly, it is used in welding for railway tracks. Now, occurrence of metal. Most of the elements, especially metals, occur in the nature in the combined state with other elements. All these compounds of metal are known as minerals, but out of them only few are viable sources of that metal. Such sources are called ores. Students, you have to remember the definition of minerals and ores. AuNPT exist in the native or free state. First we are going to study about extraction of metal from their ores. From their ores means from their viable sources, means from the mixture. We can tell the homogeneous mixture of metals and non-metals is known as ores. This is one of the one more definition about ores, that homogeneous mixture means the very entire mixture of metals and non-metals. In this, you can see from the table, you have to by heart the table. Metals of high reactivity series, metals of medium reactivity series, and metals of low reactivity series. First, for metals of high reactivity series, we are going to study about what is the entire process for extraction of metal of high reactivity series. For metals of high reactivity series, electrolysis of molten ore and we can get the pure metal. Some examples of high reactivity series metal, medium reactivity series metals, and low reactivity series metals are mentioned here, which you have to by heart. Then metals of medium reactivity series. So the metals which are of medium reactivity series. So which are the metals of medium reactivity series? That are iron, zinc, lead and tin. Students, I am telling the full name. You have to remember Fe means iron, Zn means zinc, Pb means lead, Sn means tin. Like this you have to remember about all the metals. Metals of medium reactivity series, they are present in the form of carbonate or sulfide. Means for example, iron is the example of medium reactivity series. So iron is available in the carbonate, or means iron in the form of iron carbonate or iron sulfide can be tell. If it is present in the form of carbonate form, it is extracted by a process called calcination. We will study more about calcination also in the further chapter. Then the second is sulfide ore. If the medium reactivity metal is present in the sulfide ore, the process done forward will be roasting. After calcination, either calcination or roasting according to the type of ore, we will get the product in the form of oxides. So that oxide of metal will be present, and from oxide we will go on reduction of metal. As we all know, we have studied in the chapter number 1, reduction of reduction means removal of oxygen, reduction. So from the oxide we are having the metal in the form of oxide, we will go on reduction. Reduction means removal of oxygen, so that oxide will be removed from the metal. And the lastly refining. Through the refining, the pure kind of metal or the ore will be obtained. Metals of low reactivity series. For the metals of low reactivity series, further electrolysis of molten ore, then we'll get the pure metal. Here the same thing, I think it's repeated 2 times. First electrolysis and then we get the pure metal. In the next part, we are going to study in detail all these 3 reactivity series. Up to that, you have to remember all the physical and chemical properties of metals and non-metals we have studied up to here, and also study about the difference between metals and non-metals on the basis of physical as well as chemical properties. Thank you.